Mereseini, it's a pleasure to be with you here in Suva. What is your vision for the future of gender in the Pacific?
I dream of a Pacific that is truly gender equal, where there's a greater number of women in leadership positions. I'd like to see more women prime ministers in the Pacific, but it's time that we get to see women having an equal share of responsibility in national development. We need to see more women making decisions, having a say, sitting at the table.
How would you describe the gender situation in the Pacific?
For us in the Pacific, I look to two particular indicators. And in particular, when you look at our gender-based violence statistics, in the Pacific, we are looking at double the world average, whilst 1 out of 3 women globally would have suffered some form of violence through their lifetime from an intimate partner. Here in the Pacific, it's 2 out of 3 women. And when we look at women in leadership, as a region, the Pacific has the lowest number of women in parliament. And that speaks volumes about where we're at on this gender equality journey, and more particularly the kind of work that needs to go into this.
What is the role of SPC in particular in addressing these gaps that you've just talked about?
Well, SPC on a regional level leverages expertise, technical expertise towards efforts for gender equality and empowerment of women. And for me, the creation of the position that I'm in right now as a principal strategic lead for Pacific Women really speaks volumes of the emphasis that has been put upon this sector by the leadership at SPC. It was really encouraging, Ishara, to hear the Director General at the subcommittee for the CRGA on the first day of the meeting, where he flagged gender equality as a flagship program here. That speaks to the importance that's laid on gender equality efforts, the role of SPC in that effort. It's really encouraging for me to see how the crop agencies, particularly SPC and the Pacific Island Forum Secretariat, the way they work together in leveraging these efforts across the region, knowing that we're all vying for the same aims, we want to fulfill the same targets, but just bringing in our strengths and doing this together. But it'd be remiss of me if I don't mention the role of non-government organizations and national governments as well in this regard. As an example, just yesterday, we invited a non-government organization here in Fiji that has done extensive work in gender mainstreaming for the Fijian government, and to learn from them in an effort to see how we could build upon what SPC has been doing over the years and how Pacific Women Lead can add on to that. So there's great opportunity. It's an exciting time to be working in this particular area.
How has Australia supported gender in the region through its partnership with SPC?
Ishara, through the Pacific Women Lead program, this investment of 170 million Australian in the Pacific, and the SPC component of that is around 56 million Australian dollars, and that's heavy investment. It speaks to the importance of gender equality on Australians' government agenda, and that's encouraging for us as a region. And knowing that such an investment can really do a lot on the ground in transforming the lives of Pacific women and girls. So yes, it's encouraging to see that Australia, as a development partner, has seen it fit to invest so heavily in gender equality and the empowerment of women. And I have no doubt that such an investment will reap great rewards for our nations of the Pacific in relation to national development targets.